Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Low Country News. I'm Monica Justice.
And I'm Warren Truth. Today is June 23rd, 2026. We have an extremely amazing show today.
We are reporting live from London, England at the Gucci Fashion Show. We also want to introduce our new meteorologist, Ito. Let's go to Ito now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ito Wright, and I look forward to bring you the weather every night. Let's go back to Monica and Warren.
Okay, thanks, Ito. Let's move ahead to local news in Charleston.
For a number of years, we've been well behind the eight ball when it comes to funding.
Voters in Dorchester County could see a new referendum on the November ballot. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tessa Spencer. First at 11, it's for a new 1% sales tax for Dorchester District 2 and Dorchester District 4. News 4's Jesse Klinger attended tonight's school board meeting and explains how DD2 plans to use the money. Jesse?
Tessa, tonight, Dorchester District 2 school board trustees compiled a list of projects they would like to see funded by the Education Capital Improvement Sales Tax, if approved by voters. DD2 officials say while it's not a long-term solution to the district's finance difficulties, it could help make a significant dent in needed maintenance.
They're one of the lowest funded school districts in the state of South Carolina. That impacts everything we do.
Dorchester District 2 trustees passed a resolution approving a list of projects to be funded by a proposed Education Capital Improvement Sales Tax. Number 1 on the list of projects is building a new middle school near Delamar Highway. Other items include building improvements, upgrades, and infrastructure investments.
We're going to look at safety and security. That's always top and paramount. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's difficult.
In its entirety, the approved list of projects for the county's consideration ranges between $200 and $300 million and still falls short of the district's needed maintenance.
If we could wave the magic wand and have everything that we really feel that we need and deserve in Dorchester District 2, you're probably looking around $600 million for new facilities, for renovations, for upfits.
The district's financial difficulties stem from the state funding mechanism in tandem with the population growing during the past 20 years. In its current budget, the district can only spend around $22 million on capital improvements. Trustees recognize the tax is not a solution, but would still provide much-needed relief.
The way I look at it, I think you have to have multiple legs of the stool, right, as far as funding goes. This is potentially, this educational sales tax is potentially one leg of that stool.
DD4 will submit a list of projects as well. After receiving the project lists, County Council will decide the tax's lifespan and how revenue would be split between the two districts.
And I would just ask them a very heartfelt please, really understand what we're asking and asking for just support.
The list of projects was approved with 6 for and 1 absent. Dorchester County Council's next meeting is July 6th in St. George. Jesse Klinger, News 4.
First at 5, Trident United Way is sounding the alarm in the Tri-County area as families struggle under the weight of economic pressures. Even with programs that aim to help families afford housing and access services, their special metric says a lot of families are hurting. News 4's Webb Wright takes a look at the local numbers.
The metric is referred to as ALICE, and it stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed, and it paints a sobering picture of the economic health in the Tri-County area.
The federal poverty line just isn't accurate anymore.
It's a new criteria to address a familiar problem that's growing in the Tri-County area.
Over 75% of single mom-headed households are ALICE. 60% of those households who are between 18 and 26 are ALICE. We're also seeing seniors who are on fixed incomes growing.
They do work, they have employment, it's just not enough to meet their need. What we look at is a family that doesn't understand what is it that I'm doing wrong? Why is it that I can't seem to get ahead?
The 2024 numbers, the latest released by the federal government, show ALICE households in Berkeley County have doubled since 2010 from 15,954 to 29,863. In Dorchester County, 38% of households fell below the ALICE threshold.
The biggest obstacle has to do with housing. The price of renting, the price of mortgages is just skyrocketing to the point where they just cannot make those ends meet. People that were saving to get their first house, they're finding it harder and harder.
In 2026, those numbers are growing while the federal safety net is shrinking.
We've seen an erosion of the federal programs that were directly helping uplift families. It has resulted in approximately $12,000 to $15,000 of increased costs. When nearly half of the population can't afford to work and live here, we are not talking about individual family problems. We're now talking about a workforce development and an economic issue.
And the goal for the Trident United Way is to uplift 15,000 families out of poverty by the year 2035. In North Charleston, working for you, Webb Wright, News 4.
If you've ever driven to Sullivan's Island on a busy summer weekend, you've probably experienced it firsthand, circling block after block looking for a place to park. Now, growing concerns over limited parking have some community members suggesting the town consider opening employee parking lots to help ease the congestion. News 4's Emily Deanne joining us now live from one of the most crowded areas on the island. That would be Middle Street. Emily, how's the parking situation looking down there tonight? I can see a string of cars lined up against the sidewalk there behind you.
Tessa, it's a gorgeous summer night here on Sullivan's Island, so there's little parking to be found, and visitors that I spoke with say they know the struggle all too well, and committee members say there's a plan in place to help with this situation. Finding a parking spot on Sullivan's Island can be a challenge.
In the past, we've been here on a Friday or Saturday, and we have to look around for a bit, so.
Especially on any sunny weekend.
Like, we don't come on weekends because there's way too many people, but like so many tourists, so it's pretty bad to like come down here and find somewhere to park.
With thousands of visitors heading to the beach and commercial district, available spaces often disappear quickly, leaving drivers circling neighborhood streets in search of an opening.
If there was like more parking spaces, that'd be like so nice.
Parking has been a long-standing issue on the island, where there are limited public parking lots, and most beachgoers rely on roadside parking or find an alternative.
So we weren't sure what the parking situation would be like or how crowded the parking lots would be, so we figured that Ubering would be the easiest way to get here.
Today, the town of Sullivan's Island Recreation Committee discussed ways to help manage the summer influx of visitors.
I became concerned when we started wanting to build another parking lot adjacent to the tennis courts. It was going to be a cost of $320,000. It was going to include 17 golf cart parking spaces, 2 ADA parking spaces.
Recreation Committee Chair Melanie Burkhold suggested opening a town employee lot instead, so 12 car parking spaces along Middle Street would not be taken away for the construction of the lot.
We do have our police officers there who need a whole row of parking spaces. We obviously have our town employees, so we're trying to figure out what it's going to look like.
Under the proposal, the town parking lot would be open after hours on weekdays and all day on weekends and holidays. Before the plan goes through, Burkhold says public comment is needed, so don't expect to park there until the end of the summer.
Our next town council meeting is July 21st. I'm thinking realistically it's probably going to be in August.
As the community prepares to celebrate Carolina Day next weekend, Fort Moultrie has arranged for shuttle services to bring people on and off the island. They'll have 2 shuttles running from Mount Pleasant Town Hall and Lucy Beckham High School from 9 in the morning until 4:30 in the evening, and it will be free to the public. Reporting live on Sullivan's Island, Emily Deanne, ABC News 4.
We want to thank Gucci again for inviting us to this wonderful fashion show. Let's move ahead to worldwide news involving extremely dangerous storms sweeping across America, an update on Nancy Guthrie, and a deadly Tesla car crash. Up next, worldwide news.
Overnight, intense storms bringing a barrage of rain and dangerous flooding.
I can't get out of here no matter which way I go.
Emergency crews in Kentucky trudging through waist-deep water to rescue residents from floodwaters that overwhelmed their cars.
I take a look to my right, and everybody's car's underwater. I was very surprised.
Flooding also hitting the Northeast. In New Jersey, cars and trucks stuck in rising water and workers wading through. While this chaotic scene, the result of a suspected tornado in Virginia, leaving behind snapped trees and blocked roadways. crews and first responders working to clear the mess across the region. Strong winds also wreaking havoc on power lines in multiple states, with transformers seen sparking in Mississippi and tens of thousands left in the dark across the southeast. Destructive wind gusts also in Colorado, whipping up dust. Reportedly over 100 miles per hour clocked outside Denver. This latest round of storms impacting nearly half the country. Thunderstorms disrupting Major League Baseball games and even forcing the World Cup to pause for the first time in this tournament.
Now, airports are looking to cover from that major mess as well. Airports from Boston to D.C. saw ground delays and stops that led to nearly 10,000 flight disruptions yesterday. Fortunately, we are seeing some improvement today, guys.
All right. Mike Gettis starting us off there in New Jersey. And thank you.
All right. So for more on the storms and what's to come, we say good morning to Al. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning. And good morning to you. And we've got lower visibilities here in the Northeast. Heavy showers and thunderstorms still making their way. In fact, we've got some flash flood warnings and watches as well from Norfolk on into West Virginia. This system is going to be moving to the east. We do have a risk of some severe weather along the mid-Atlantic coast today. Waves of low pressure making their way up that front. Heavy rain in some spots as this pushes on. We are looking for some isolated areas, 2 to 4 inches, especially along the Delmarva Peninsula. And then there's the heat stretching from Louisiana all the way into the Pacific Northwest for 30 million people for heat warnings, heat watches, and advisories. Big area of high pressure in the southwest, pumping up that hot air. And so we could be looking at scattered records. Look at these temperatures, 110 in Las Vegas. We got triple digits in Lubbock, Albuquerque, and Phoenix as well. 90s as you go all the way into the Pacific Northwest. And over the next few days, look at this, Boise, Idaho in the mid-90s, triple digits for Lubbock, Phoenix in the triple digits, and Fresno, temperature staying in the 90s with not a lot of relief in sight, guys.
This morning, nearly 5 months after a man in a mask showed up at Nancy Guthrie's front door and abducted her in the dark of night, ABC News can disclose the contents of a second note sent to a Tucson television station days later. The first note demanded a ransom, millions in cryptocurrency. Sources told ABC News the second note claimed Guthrie died shortly after she was taken and was buried in nature, something her daughter Savannah appeared to reference days later in this Instagram post.
We received your message, and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace.
The FBI believes the two notes came from the same sender, but investigators have so far been unable to determine who that is. Savannah said she believed the notes were legitimate, but never gave up on her mother. Investigators are still working to identify the armed man seen lurking at Nancy Guthrie's front door. They're also testing a hair found at the home, along with a mixed DNA sample, hoping those clues will lead to the kidnapper.
There is still $1 million reward for information leading to Nancy Guthrie's recovery. And guys, as Savannah has pleaded with her captor, it's never too late to do the right thing. Guys.
That is so true. Yeah. Never too late to do the right thing.
And we just hope at some point the family can get some closure.
Yeah. The alarming video showing a Tesla crashing into a home outside Houston in Katy, Texas, killing a grandmother inside that home. Here's Matt Rivers.
This is the moment a driver alleges he was using autopilot in a Tesla when the car smashed into a house outside of Houston, Texas, killing 76-year-old grandmother Martha Avila inside the home.
I literally walked out of the room, went to my computer, and I heard the crash.
Avila's family, including her daughter and young grandchildren, also home. Miraculously, they were not injured. Tonight, the NHTSA launching a special investigation into the deadly crash, the agency's most in-depth and detailed level of inquiry. According to authorities, the driver said he was using Tesla's automated driving assistance system, or driver assist mode, at the time of the crash. Police say the car was traveling at a high rate of speed. Moments before the crash, doorbell camera footage appears to show the Model 3 racing down a road through an intersection around 8:30 p.m. Friday before slamming into the house. Avila was transported by life flight to the hospital, where she was later pronounced deceased. The driver was also taken to the hospital. Authorities say he did not show signs of intoxication. David, Tesla did not respond to our requests for comment. The company's website, though, says that Tesla's automated driver assistance programs do not make their cars fully capable of self-driving, and that drivers need to be attentive at all times. David?
Matt Rivers on this tonight. Matt, thank you.
You see the video from your camera that shows the Tesla speeding so fast. What goes through your mind?
What goes into my mind is that, no, this is absolutely, it's a tragic.
Cynthia Mole lives next door, and her camera captured the loud impact when the car hit the brick house.
To me, she's my second mother because my mother's not here.
Avila had a good heart, Mole says, in disbelief over the violent crash.
It's so very devastating for me and for the family because we're not expecting this to happen.
The 44-year-old driver told Harris County Sheriff's investigators he was using the Tesla's automated driving system. The crash sent him to the hospital, and so far, he's not facing any charges. Apparent skid marks show where the Tesla entered the property. There's a lot left to clean up, while Avila's family and neighbors hope the investigation will bring clearer answers.
That was so devastating that this happened to this family.
The driver of that Tesla is cooperating with the investigation and did not show any signs of intoxication. That's according to the sheriff's office. We have reached out to Tesla, but so far have not heard back. In Katy, I'm Bryce Newberry, KPRC 2 News.
It was a horrible way for her to go. And we just want some answers as to know why this happened, because we're going to be traumatized living here. I just want some justice.
Tonight, we have breaking news: the U.S. and Iran. And for the first time in years, the U.S. now allowing Iran to sell oil on the open market. What Vice President J.D. Vance says Iran has now agreed to do, but what Iran is now saying tonight. This evening, what President Trump is now claiming about the reflecting pool at the National Mall. After $16 million in taxpayer money was spent to paint and renovate the pool just weeks ago. The U.S. and Iran, the Trump administration claiming progress in the peace talks. And now, for the first time in years, the U.S. is now allowing Iran to sell oil on the open market. What Vice President J.D. Vance says Iran has agreed to do involving nuclear inspectors, but what Iran is saying tonight. Mary Bruce at the White House.
After his threats nearly derailed peace talks over the weekend, tonight President Trump taking a more measured tone.
As long as they respect us, we're going to be fine.
Tonight, in a significant move, the U.S. temporarily lifting oil sanctions on Iran, letting them sell oil openly for the first time in years, which could bring them tens of billions of dollars. Vice President J.D. Vance, who led the talks over the weekend, says he got a big concession out of Iran, that they will now allow international nuclear inspectors into the country.
That is a major milestone for the American people and the first step in permanently denuclearizing or permanently ending a nuclear weapons program in Iran.
But that promise of nuclear inspectors was the same promise made under President Obama's deal that Trump tore up. And despite Vance's words, Iranian state media reports Iran has made no new nuclear commitments.
All right, everyone. The weather here in London is currently about 80 degrees. Let's take a look at the weather in South Carolina and the violent storms sweeping across America. Up next, weather.
Good Tuesday morning, South Carolina Weather Watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Tuesday. Starting off, what is going on right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina? Well, we're seeing some isolated shower activity in the PD areas. We're seeing some maybe over in the more eastern Midlands as well. And it looks like that we are going to continue to see the shower activity kind of develop up here. And we'll get into the models and I'll explain what I mean in a moment. But everybody else seems to be dry. What's going on throughout the entire U.S.? We do have some rainfall going on over on the East Coast, obviously in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia, North Carolina, Maine, seeing some, and then even New York City seeing some rainfall. Central U.S., we have a good amount of flooding and some severe weather going on in Oklahoma. We have some severe weather going on in Texas as well with some flash flooding. And then over here in the West, we're looking pretty good. You know, maybe Idaho, Wyoming getting some rainfall, but that's about it. Now for our cloud cover for right now, we currently are seeing cloud cover inside the upstate, Midlands, PD. I mean, all areas are receiving cloud cover, but mainly inside that PD and that Midland area where we really see the majority of that cloud cover really be at. Look at our cloud cover for the future as we go in and push this forward. You can see that as we get into tonight, going into like late tonight to around like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, cloud cover does push through. Cloud cover is trying to kind of push its way through, but it kind of does cloud up a bit more as we move into tomorrow morning once again. So cloud cover is going to be here. It is going to be here, but it's not really going to be for too long, and it's not going to be widespread statewide. Current temperatures right now, we're talking about 84 Somerville, 85 Charleston, 85 Beaufort, and 82 in Orangeburg, 80 in Aiken, as well as 84 in Georgetown, 83 Myrtle Beach, and 84 in Conway, 81 in Columbia, and 77 in Newberry, 78 Greenville, Spartanburg, 78 Gaffney. Air quality for today, we're talking about nice conditions, so no bad air quality here statewide. And then as we go into our high temperatures for today, we're talking about 88 Greenville, Spartanburg, 93 Columbia, 92 Orangeburg, as well as 94 in Walterboro, 94 Charleston, and 95 in Georgetown, 92 Myrtle Beach, and 95 in Hilton Head Island. Heat for today, heat index, I'm going to be up to around 100 to 103 or so near the coastal area, so watch out for that, and make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Winds for today are going to be a bit breezy. We're talking about around a good 10 to 20 miles per hour statewide today, maybe even a little bit more, and then as we go into those wind gusts, around 20 to 30 miles per hour today. Rainfall is definitely possible for today. Definitely possible for today. We have around 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch for a good amount of us over inside of like the Midlands, maybe even a 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch for a couple of us near Chirra, going on near Myrtle Beach, near Charleston. So a good amount of rainfall is possible. Now, I will say this. Some of this also accumulated from last night as well. So if you already kind of saw some rainfall last night, there's a good chance that you may not see much rainfall. In fact, it actually may look something like this. Let me go in and load it up. It may actually look something like this instead. So a huge difference, but I think that kind of combine the two maps together, that would be kind of your rainfall accumulations here. SPC outlook for today, we're talking about thunderstorm activity in the low country, the PD areas, Grand Strand, but overall, nothing severe. Fire weather is not expected, excessive rainfall is not expected. Crazy score for today, we're at a 43, we're inside of the moderate category. Why? Well, combination of dangerous heat, scattered afternoon and evening thunderstorms, and honestly, that's the reason why we're here. We don't have a marginal risk of severe weather, so we're not going in the strong category. So let's go in now and take a look at the models. We're going to start off here at around 10 o'clock in the morning, and as we go in and push this forward, you see that as we move into like the afternoon, you're not seeing much. The rainfall that we have in the PD area now kind of moves away at around 1 p.m. And as we move more to around 5, 6 o'clock p.m., we have some rainfall more in the PD areas. We have some more rainfall moving into the Grand Strand areas by around 9 p.m., 10, 11 p.m. And then once we get to around 12 o'clock in the morning, that rainfall activity kind of moves away from us. And now we're talking about nice, dry conditions. So it looks like that we are going to continue to kind of just see this rainfall push over to the east more and more by around 9 to 10 o'clock p.m. And then by around 12 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be kind of out of our hair and away from us.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with breaking news. There are severe storms moving across the Northeast at this hour. More than 60 million Americans under alerts tonight for dangerous winds, thunderstorms, and possible flash flooding. Heavy downpours and winds gusting up to 70 miles per hour from Washington, D.C. up to Philadelphia. That system then pushing into New York. Just a short time ago, torrential rains unleashing on Philadelphia, suspending play at the World Cup match being held there. Fans told to seek shelter. It comes, of course, after deadly tornadoes. More than 50 reported tornadoes. This one right here in Dix, Illinois. And there's a major fire still burning in Los Angeles at this hour, a state of emergency now declared. But first, the severe storms moving into the Northeast, and Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee leads us off.
Tonight, severe storms threatening 60 million people across the Northeast and South, triggering torrential rain, damaging winds, and travel chaos. Meteorologist Danny Beckstrom at our New York station WABC tracking the storms.
The evening has been active. We're still seeing widespread showers, a thunderstorm threat, and flood concerns.
More than 600 flights already canceled. Thunderstorms causing ground stops and hours-long delays at New York's JFK and LaGuardia airports.
Oh my God, guys, this is a violent tornado.
It's the same system that sparked a deadly tornado outbreak in the Midwest. More than 50 reported tornadoes tearing across 9 states since Friday. At least 3 people killed, including 2 in Jefferson County, Illinois. Authorities confirming late today it was an EF3 with 140-mile-per-hour winds.
We were trapped in it, and the 2 other homes that were destroyed, they didn't make it.
To the east, in Newburgh, Indiana, terrifying video showing this tornado ripping through a neighborhood, damaging apartment buildings. In this clip, a tornado tossing backyard furniture like toys. And in Oklahoma, a devastating derecho racing across El Reno, unleashing winds up to 90 miles per hour, destroying homes and toppling trees. Sherry Martin's home shredded.
That was our kitchen. Our roof is laying in the backyard.
Another unsettled night ahead. We're thinking about all those families who were hit over the weekend. Let's get right back to Ginger Z. She's got the forecast for us. Hi, Ginger.
Hi, David. There are severe thunderstorm warnings from Twin Rivers, New Jersey to Greensboro, North Carolina as we speak, and that is marching east. But we also have severe thunderstorm watches that have had embedded tornadoes confirmed even in parts of Wyoming and Nebraska. Flood watches from Louisiana up to West Virginia because these storms are carrying with them 2-inch per hour rainfall rates or even greater. So let's time it out because tonight we still have quite a few of those strong to severe storms on the map through Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and that's going to be the case. We started the clock there at 8 p.m. where Atlantic City's getting blasted. And then through midnight, you could see some strong storms. Even through noon tomorrow, it's going to be a wet start. Washington, D.C., New York to Boston. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, Denver stays in that new storm with severe weather possible too, David.
We can see those darkening skies behind you as well. Ginger, we'll see you first thing in the morning on GMA. Thank you.
I figured I'd take advantage of some golf time while I'm in London. So I decided to visit the historic Royal Blackheath Golf Club. Up next, sports. Low Country Sports News Alert.
Back in the building, and Shams is up early as we had major breaking news in the NBA that profoundly changes the landscape of the Eastern Conference. Giannis Antetokounmpo taking his talents to South Beach. The Bucks trading him to the Heat in exchange for a package headlined by Tyler Hero. Milwaukee spurning an offer made by Boston that included Jaylen Brown and 2 first-round picks. Here are the details of this blockbuster 2-team trade. Milwaukee sending Giannis and Bobby Portis to Miami for Tyler Hero, who was an All-Star in 25. Jaime Jaquez, who was second in the Sixth Man of the Year voting last year. Plus, you see some other players, a whole bunch of picks, whole bunch of pick swaps. It was a big package that Miami sent Milwaukee's way, and they chose it over what Boston was prepared to offer. So, Shams working the story all day long and finally got it last night. While everyone else was asleep, you were doing the work. Empty the book for us here, Shams. How and why did this deal get made?
Greeny, to me, this goes all the way back to May 2025. Giannis Antetokounmpo, his agent Alex Saratsas, informed the Bucks that they were ready to move on, that it was time for both sides to part ways. To put it very, very bluntly, Giannis wanted out of Milwaukee. The Bucks at every turn, they fought that. They wanted to scrap and claw and try to see, can we keep Giannis? He's a franchise icon there. The biggest name maybe that franchise will ever have and see in Milwaukee. And they made a pretty ridiculous move. They waived and stretched Damian Lillard. They go outside Miles Turner. They try to convince Giannis to stay. Still, in August, he wants to trade to the Knicks. They still keep him. But there were twists, there were turns, and the Bucks listened to trade offers. They countered, they negotiated with teams at the deadline in February. And the Miami Heat were the last team standing. Back on February 5th, no deal happened. But now, when talks resumed, and it came down to Miami and Boston, both teams were leveraging against each other, and Milwaukee was able to really have leverage because Giannis wanted to play in either market. You had 2 vastly different deals with both teams, and the Bucks last night landed on a decision to go with Miami's offer. They're turning the page on the Giannis era, and now Giannis and Bam Adebayo will lead Pat Riley's new look team in Miami.
Anthony Wynn joins us live now. Anthony, tell us about this incredible story.
Well, Kara, this was a case of being at the right place at the right time. Christian and Mattiot traveled to Houston to watch Germany take on Curacao. Like many fans, they searched online for tickets and purchased them through SeatGeek. Everything seemed set for game day, but just before the start, things took a turn for the worse.
So we flew out to Houston for the game. And about an hour before the game, we got an email saying that our tickets would not, like, they were just basically canceled. We kept getting told that, like, oh yeah, you just have to wait. Sometimes they just get released in a couple hours before the event, maybe even 24 hours to an hour before the event.
Maddie says the original purchase was refunded to his mother's credit card, but by then they were already at the stadium gates and needed another way in.
I'm scrambling online to find tickets. There's none on the FIFA website. So we went on StubHub and I found tickets for about $700 a piece, and bought them. And luckily they came through. They worked, and we were able to get into the stadium.
The pair enjoyed the match, but their adventure wasn't over. The next day, while heading home, their flight was delayed. Stuck at the airport, they decided to grab a seat at a bar. There, they struck up a conversation with a man and his wife, sharing stories about their weekend and all the challenges they had faced. What they didn't realize was who they were talking to.
He looks over at her, looks back at us, and he goes, well, I'm the Prime Minister of Curacao, and pick a game, the 19th or the 20th, whatever, or the 25th. And we're like, what? He goes, we'd like to fly you out to one of our next games. You pick either the Ecuador game or the Ivory Coast game.
After receiving an all-expenses-paid invitation from the Prime Minister, Maddie called his mother to tell her the news. According to Christian, her response was simple: of course you're going. Soon after, they were flown to Kansas City, where they spent time with the Prime Minister's family and friends. They say they received the full VIP treatment and found themselves mingling with high-profile guests.
So they were at the Intercontinental Plaza, and they invited us to this private watch party with, like, we did not look like we should be there. I mean, we're around like CEOs and people worth millions and millions of dollars, and they buy us drinks and food, and we're watching the Netherlands game, and then the Prime Minister comes down and says hey to everybody, and we got to talk to him for a bit.
After the Netherlands match, it was time for Curaçao's game. The two fans enjoyed the atmosphere, the festivities, and incredible seats.
We Ubered to the game, get into the stadium. It was a long line into the stadium, but get into the stadium, had to look at the FIFA store in the stadium, and then get to our seats. And I mean, the seats were just incredible. The view was amazing. The fans were so much fun, dancing and chanting. We learned a bunch of chants and all this stuff. It was awesome.
After a packed day of activities, the pair returned to their hotel, exhausted, but grateful for the experience. Today, they're making their way back home to Myrtle Beach with a story they'll likely never forget. What started as a frustrating trip filled with canceled tickets and unexpected expenses turned into a once-in-a-lifetime experience. For Christian and Mati, it's a reminder that sometimes the best stories happen when things don't go according to plan. Live in studio, Anthony Nguyen, ABC 15 News.
To the World Cup, Lionel Messi making history tonight, becoming the World Cup's all-time top scorer. Messi setting the record with goal number 17 in today's match against Austria, then extending his lead with an 18th goal later on, playing in Arlington, Texas to cheers, leading Argentina to a 2-0 win.
All right, y'all, that is the end of today's show for Low Country News. I'm Monica Justice.
And I'm Warren Truth. Please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to True Perspective 843. Thank you for watching, stay safe, and see you tomorrow.